It's time for a brand new adventure in the Hoenn region. Today I will be playing through Pokemon Omega Ruby with my original team. I have played ORAS before, but I thought it would be fun to not only recap the events of these games, but also reuse and share my original team with you guys. Just a little anecdote, this was the first time I was consciously trying to use different Pokemon, so my team may look a tiny bit peculiar. It's not overwhelmingly unique, I still used commonly used Pokemon, but when I made it, it felt unique at the time. Before we begin, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, as only 2% of my viewers are subscribed, and it will be greatly appreciated if you hit that red button. And without further ado, let's begin. So my mom and I have recently moved to Littleroot Town, where I was stuffed at the back of a moving van. I arrived at my new home, say hello to May, and made my way to the first route, where Professor Birch is having trouble with a wild Poochyena. I spring into action, taking Treecko and battling the Poochyena until it went down. Professor Birch thanks me for helping him by permanently giving me Treecko, which I very much obliged to, naming my new starter Limber. I'm told to meet up with May, north of Oldale, so I do that and have my first rival battle. Limber just about manages to take down her Torchic as I win the battle. I get given a Pokedex from the professor, as now I officially begin my journey. On the way to Petalburg City, I added my second team member, a male Ralts, which I named Hobson. I went ahead to greet my dad at the Petalburg gym, and as we are talking, Wally famously shows up asking Norman for help catching his first Pokemon. Norman asks me to help Wally out, which I do so by giving Wally emotional support as he catches his own Ralts. I focus on my own journey now as I head to Petalburg Forest. While there, I help out a Devon Company worker by helping him retrieve stolen Devon goods back from a Team Magma Grunt. He thanks me by giving me an experience share as I press forward out of the forest. A hidden Team Magma Grunt reports that their plan to steal the Devon goods were unsuccessful back to Team Magma's admin Courtney. Reaching Rustboro City, I go ahead and challenge Roxanne. It was an easy fight as Limber was able to sap her Pokemon's health away using Mega Drain, winning me the battle, but also in anime-esque fashion gives Treecko enough experience to evolve into Grovyle. With that, badge 1 acquired. As I exit the gym, a Team Magma Grunt has successfully stolen the Devon goods from the guy I helped earlier and has ran off into Verdanturf Cave. I make my way there and find out the grunt has stolen Mr. Briny's Pico as well. He's blocked off by rocks, so I corner him, take him down in battle, save Pico and reunited with Mr. Briny, as well as return the stolen goods back to the Devon worker. I get the privilege to talk to the Devon CEO because I helped the company out, and he tasked me to head to Dewford to deliver a letter to a man named Steven. I oblige and head to Mr. Briny to ask for his help sailing to Dewford. He takes me there, and well, with every new gym town, I have to make a beeline to the gym. I challenged gym leader Brawly to a gym fight, and thanks to Ralts and his super effective psychic attacks, I got my second gym badge. Brawly was kind enough to tell me that Steven was in Dewford Cave. I meet Steven as he is studying an ancient mural and deliver the letter to him. Steven thanks me for the effort and heads off. I head back to Mr. Briny as he tells me that Mr. Stone has sent me on another errand to deliver the Devon parts to the Slateport Sea Yard. Mr. Briny helped me out by sailing me to a route near Slateport to help with my errand. I head to the Sea Yard, but unfortunately the captain isn't present. I'm redirected to the Oceanic Museum to find Captain Stern and deliver the parts, but when I found him, 2 Magma Grunts showed up demanding that we give the parts to them. I obviously decline and take them on in battle, crushing them swiftly.
Boy, he got that shit on though.
Maxie arrives to the scene, disappointed with his grunts, lets the captain and I go, but warns that next time he wouldn't be so lenient. There's also a lot of land propaganda, but since I am a critical thinker, I was not manipulated in the slightest. Continuing my journey, I overhear Magma Grunts plotting to head to Mount Chimney through Marble City, so I tail closely behind. I also caught a Zigzagoon for HMs, which normally I wouldn't mention in these videos. As you can see, Zigzagoon is not part of my layout in the bottom right, but this particular Zigzagoon was extremely clutch. I'll explain later, as now I'm interrupted by May for a rival fight. Grovyle manages to take down her lead Wailmer and goes down to her Combusken, which gives a free switch to Ralts, who cleans up Combusken and her Shroomish. Now is a good time as any to say that I am playing in set battle style. As mentioned prior, I have played Omega Ruby as a child with the same team that I'll be using in this video. However, I'm much older now, so I'll be playing in set battle style because I genuinely believe that it is the right way to play Pokemon. Right before reaching Marvel, my Ralts evolved into a Kirlia and will be staying that way for a long time. I overhear Wally talking with his dad and...
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Probably meet them outside Marvel Gym, where Wally challenges me to a battle. He takes the L, and surprisingly, this is the only time the player fights Wally before the famous Victory Road fight. It's time to take on the gym, and oh boy. I did some training and got Zigzagoon to evolve into a Lanoon. Again, I was not intending to feature my HM Pokemon, but here we are. I lead with Grovyle as Watson leads with Magnemite. Due to the combined effects of Paralysis and Confusion self-hits, Grovyle went down. Kirlia couldn't do much to stop Magneton either, as it was swiftly taken down as well. My last Pokemon was Lanoon, and it clutched up massively. It not only took down Magneton with super effective Rock Smash, but also survived through Confusion and defeated Voltorb as well. Salute to Lanoon, because without it, I would not have achieved this third badge. I eavesdrop on more Magma Grunts heading to Mount Chimney, and as I pursue them, May stops me and we enjoy the view of Mount Chimney together. That's cute. I feel like this game was the closest in developing a love interest between rivals, which I think can be attributed to the manga where these two are canonically a couple. I can catch my next team member now, that being Numel. I caught it and named it Rekas, which in hindsight is just the word request without the T, but let's not dwell on that. I make my way to Fall Arbor with May as she wants to visit Professor Cosmo, a meteorologist. However, upon reaching his home, it turns out that he has been abducted by Team Magma and brought to Meteor Falls. May and I decide to help the professor out by saving him, so we head to Meteor Falls, but right before that, I add another team member, that being Sugar the Swablu. We confront Team Magma as May and I take on Magma admin Tabitha and a Magma Grunt via a double battle. We ended up victorious, but unfortunately not everything turned out okay. Team Aqua shows up, led by their leader Archie. Team Magma pressures the professor into giving them the meteor before running off to Mount Chimney. Archie exchanges a few words with me before heading off in pursuit of Team Magma. I follow suit as well, heading up in the cable car to the mountain peak. Tabitha attempts to stop me, but is merely a temporary roadblock. Finally, I'm face to face with Maxie for the second time. He takes me on in battle, and while my current team is struggling, Lanoon rises to the occasion once again to help defeat Maxie. Maxie is about to pull out Mega Evolution on me, but he calms down once he realizes that Mount Chimney isn't where he needs to be. Instead, he needs to head to Mount Pyre. He hands me the meteorite and heads off. Archie makes a quick remark on how he's always 2 steps behind, but don't worry buddy, I'm sure there's an alternate universe where Maxie is 2 steps behind instead. Next up is to take on the Labyrinth Gym. My team is not suited for this at all, but Numel here had different plans. Being my only option for super effective moves, Numel leads the team to fight Flannery. He manages to roll a magnitude 8 and 7 consecutively to take down Slugma and her own Numel. Her Torkoal proved to be a bit more difficult, but Numel managed to weaken it enough that Flannery was forced to use her Hyper Potion. Numel eventually goes down, but sets up a perfect situation for Kirlia to come in and fire off a Psychic to defeat Torkoal and win me the badge. I meet May outside the gym as she conveniently ushers me into the next gym city, Petalburg. It's time to take down my dad. While battling gym trainers, my Grovyle evolves into a Sceptile, which gives me a fully evolved Pokemon, which is crucial if I want to have a chance against Slacking. I enter the battle with a blind faith in Sceptile, and well, what can I say? It was Leaf Blade City. Sceptile managed to sweep my dad and get me the badge, and that is why Sceptile is in my top 10 favorite Pokemon. My dad solemnly accepts defeat, but is thrilled that his son ended up being better than him. He and I had a conversation with Wally and his dad, the latter giving me the Surf HM, which means the eastern side of Hoenn has just opened up. I head to New Mauville first as my next team member is acquired there. Meet Zerky the Magnemite. I surf east of Mauville where I run into Steven Stone. Steven and I begin chatting, but we are interrupted by the legendary Latias. It seems it has sought out our help and allows Steven and I to fly on its back. It takes us to some island where Steven recalls about an old fable, about an island where the Eon duo Latios and Latias guard the secret of Mega Evolution. I head forward where I come across the legendary Latios. It sensed that Team Magma were intruding on its island to possibly abuse the power of Mega Evolution. That's why Steven and I were called upon for the purpose of defending it. Steven and I obviously win. If we didn't, it would be more embarrassing for Steven than it would be for me. Numel evolves into a Camerupt at the end of the battle as Team Magma makes their retreat. Latios, impressed with me, offers its allegiance and joins my team. Well, unfortunately, not this team. Maybe in another run. Latias takes us back to where it picked us up, and now I can resume my journey. On my way to the Weather Institute, Magnemite multiplies itself to become Magneton. In their quest to create a desolate land, Team Magma have infiltrated the Weather Institute to research the weather patterns thousands of years ago formed by the two legendary Pokemon. Team Magma in particular seems more interested in Groudon. Also, Swablu evolves into an Altaria. Very cool. Once I raid the Institute, defeating all the grunts and beat Admin Tabitha, the scientists there explained a form of evolution that only two of the Weather Trio are capable of: Primal Reversion. Primal Groudon in particular brought about harsh sunlight which caused the ocean to dry up, and, well, that's not peachy. In other news, after all that's done and dusted, I have a rival fight with May, and well, what can I say? She was blown away. I'm sorry. That was dumb. She gave me the Fly gem, and with that I head to Fortree. Little beyond Fortree, I met Steven once again, and he not only helped me out with the invisible Kecleon by handing me a Devon Scope, he also handed me a Sceptolite. Thank you, man. You rock. Literally, Steven Stone. Yeah. Wynonna time, and it was fun showing off Mega Sceptile. I often forget how overshadowed Sceptile is by Blaziken and Swampert. If there was any doubt, by the way, I got the badge. Before I continued, I had two things on the itinerary that I wanted to do. First off, get the Everstone from Dewford Cave to keep Kirlia from evolving. This is because the item I need to evolve Kirlia in the first place is literally right before the Elite Four. Also, a quick trip back to New Marble allowed me to get Magneton to evolve into Magnezone after a level up. The team is looking stronger already. I make my way atop Mount Pyre to see Maxie and Team Magma disregard the elderly and steal the Red Orb. How rude. Maxie decides he can't battle me at this moment and just reveals to me his plan of action, just like that. He tells me how he needs to steal the submarine being built at Slateport. It's almost as if he wants me to follow him and foil his plans. Cordy takes me out in battle, but she is simply no match for me as my very own Camerupt triumphs over hers. The elders decide to entrust me with the Blue Orb as the two orbs can never be separated and wishes for me to reunite them. Arriving at Lily Cove, I meet up with May as she challenges me to a battle. I had the show out with Mega Sceptile taking down her Wailord, Blaziken, and Breloom with it. Sceptile is him. I backtrack to Slateport to see Maxie and Tabitha stealing the submarine. Maxie then leaks the location of the Magma hideout just so I can try taking it out in the name of justice, or something like that, I don't know. Captain Stern takes me to Lily Cove to find the hideout. I don't know how people aren't suspicious of a big cave beside Lily Cove that is so obviously the Magma hideout. Well, it's montage time. Hello, Courtney, standing right in front of the submarine. She battles me, and even though she lost, she gathered enough time for Maxie to depart in the submarine. Finally, someone intelligent in this organization. Never mind, just dox the location of your own leader, why don't you? Anyhow, there's nothing I can do about Team Magma, so let's worry about my own journey. So as you can see, I don't have a 6th team member, and seemingly as we are in the latter stages of the game, now is a great time to fill that role. And ironically, in this water-dominated Hoenn region, can you believe that I haven't caught myself a water type? So let's welcome this adorable ball of ice, introducing Blissthesfeel, who pretty much immediately evolved into Celio. Nice. Moss Deep Gym Time and Leaf Blade Sissy by a Mega Sceptile will get us the easy victory. World-ending sunshine is being unleashed, so that's bad. Fortunately, not only does Steven live here, he gives me the Dive HM as well as some scuba gear. I do my thing as per usual, tackle the seafloor cavern, whether it be the puzzles or grunts, but eventually I make it to Maxie. He challenges me to a fight and I oblige, as he even pulls out his Mega Camera to defeat me. Nevertheless, Altaria cleans up, and at the end of the battle, Celio evolves into a Walrein, just to rub it in his face. However, Maxie is a sore loser, and despite his admin Tabitha's warning, he summons Groudon and well, desolate land commences. Groudon starts making its way to Zootopolis while Maxie realizes that unleashing Primal Groudon spells the literal end of the world. We have some discourse between Maxie, Archie, and eventually Steven, but when it comes down to it, the 10-year-old kid is expected to do the dirty work. I arrive at Zootopolis where Steven introduces me to the Zootopolis gym leader Wallace. Just outside the cave of origin, Steven, Wallace, Archie, and Maxie are all present to help me out with the ongoing crisis. Team Magma has developed a magma suit in preparation to be in close proximity to Groudon. They hand it to me, and while it isn't completely certain that the suit will keep me safe, since I have the blue orb, it should keep me safe as the blue orb has the power to calm Groudon. Maxie finally addresses me as a trainer and not a child, which I'm glad he got to realize in an ongoing crisis which he set off himself. Wallace grants me passage to the Cave of Origin, but before I enter, May arrives and proclaims that I am her best friend, which is corny and all, I know, but it is pretty sweet. And now, I stand in front of Groudon. Groudon is a G though, and lets me ride on its back so we can have our final battle. Groudon undergoes Primal Erosion and... I just killed it. Slightly anticlimactic for the world-ending land Godzilla with tectonic power to be defeated easily, but maybe it's because Groudon was a G and let me defeat it. That's my headcanon. Everyone's all happy and stuff. Arrest this lunatic right now. Maxie does not deserve to be a free man, but he walks away scot-free, which is not fine. He does hand me the red orb though, which is cool and all. May has one last conversation with me and she was hitting me with the fields, but alas, it's a kid's game and so she just says just kidding and walks off. As for Wallace on the other hand, he was the newest visitor to leave Blade City. Time for the Evergrande Championship. Victory Road is, well, Victory Road. It's quite bland, so let's fast forward to the Wally fight and let me take this moment to show how proud I am of Wally. From a sickly kid to a strong trainer is a journey he can be proud of. They don't make characters like Wally anymore. On to the battle, and I've kind of developed an addiction to using Sceptile. It Mega Evolves, takes down the Altaria and Delcatty, then switching into Camerupt to melt Wally's Magneton. Sceptile returns to the field to take down Roselia and put a lid on his Mega Gallade, and with that, Wally is defeated. He hands me this Dawnstone and, oh my goodness, finally! I have held on to Kirlia for so long. Did you know that Kirlia is weaker than a first stage starter Pokemon? So now, I can finally get my hands on Gallade. Into the Elite Four we go, kicking things off with Sydney, as my Gallade has an instant impact, taking down all of his team with Brick Breaks. I foolishly tried to replicate this success with Phoebe, but Gallade went down on her first Pokemon. Sceptile came in to take care of it but was stunned when her subsequent Dusknoir pulled out Ice Punch. That's fine though, as a quick switch into Magnezone allowed me to sweep the rest of her team with hard-hitting Thunderbolts. The Glaceon next, and all I needed was the two-man game of Camerupt and Magnezone. Switching between the two based on who was most effective allowed a quick and flawless victory. Last of the four, we have Drake. His dragons were no match for the beam of frigid temperature produced by Walrein. Kingdra was more troublesome as it took down Altaria, but Mega Sceptile came to the rescue and won me the battle. Up next is Steven Stone. From Dewford Cave to the Champion Room, it's time to become the champ. I lead with Magnezone as he leads with Skarmory. Two Thunderbolts later and Skarmory goes down. I bring in Gallade for his Aggron, but because of his sturdy and Gallade's fragility, Aggron 1v1v1. Camerupt came in for the revenge kill, and as he brought out Claydol, I pivoted to Walrein to take him down with Surf. He brought out Cradily, which I tried to take down with Walrein, but it was not successful. Sceptile came in for the revenge kill using the turn to Mega Evolve as well. His Armaldo was dealt with by my Magnezone as he is left with his ace Metagross. He Mega Evolved his Metagross as I tried doing some damage with Magnezone. I tried to bring in my Sceptile again to make it ace versus ace, but that did not turn out good. Altaria had to come in to finish the job, and with that, I am champ of the Hoenn region. After a quick chat with May and Professor Birch, I registered my team into the Hall of Fame to make it official. And with that, thank you so much on joining me on my Pokemon Omega Ruby playthrough. It was a blast and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.